Borscht reflects the culinary identity of Ukraine like no other dish. And for many Ukrainians, it's much more than a simple soup.
Борщ люблять. Борщ любить їсти Україна. Like it Ukraine people and like борщ eat Europe people. Yes, American people, Asia people. Просто якщо не їдять іноземці борщ, то ви йому, значить, не такий борщ підставили.
If you will take borscht from us, you can also take the language for us, and you can also take the lifestyle from us, and then tell me what nation we are.
According to some estimates, the Russian attack on Ukraine cost hundreds of thousands of deaths and injuries and displaced more than 6 million people since it began in early 2022. Ukrainian cultural heritage has also suffered. Russia's aim is to conquer and dominate the country. Ukraine is now trying to survive while preserving its own identity. And that includes preserving its language and traditions. And the national dish borscht belongs to this effort. Many people consider borscht a Russian dish, but the exact origins are in dispute. There are many indications that it originated in Ukraine.
Найпоширеніший інгредієнт, який додають у борщ, це буряк. Але буряк кількох видів. Буряк червоний, салатний, буряк ситцевий – це найпоширеніше. В усі борщі переважно кладуть зелень, переважно, хоча є борщі, які зварені без зелені, без часнику, без цибулі, без буряка, без картоплі, без томатів.
Every family, every cook, every chef is adding to the borscht. So it's like in France when you have to cook the perfect eggs to be the chef. Here the same, you have to do the perfect borscht as you only can to be the chef. It doesn't matter what kind of cuisine you're cooking. Main idea is that what is your borscht about.
This question pops up everywhere, including in the kitchen of Yevhen Klopotenko's restaurant in the capital Kyiv. He's pushing for borscht to be recognized as Ukrainian cultural heritage, but we'll hear more about that later. Further east, at Olena Sherban's local history museum, it's all about this beetroot soup.
Ми сьогодні готуємо борщик у горщику. Український традиційний борщ в печі. Готувати в печі дуже просто і легко, бо ми борщ збираємо. Ми поклали сюди м'ясо, залили водою, додали овочі.
Apart from having all kinds of vegetables, borscht can have dozens of further ingredients. The broth can be made with beef or pork, fish, or even mushrooms, depending on the region.
Все, я зараз сало смажу. Я хапаю свою пательню. Я гаряча жінка і не боюся гарячого. Хоп. Хоп.
Fried lard gives a strong flavor. Pork ribs and vegetables are added. Kvass, or fermented red beets, takes care of the acidity. The smoke from a traditional oven gives it the final touch.
Smokiness is some kind of way how Ukrainians was preserving a lot of different things. If we speak about Italy or other countries, people were using the salt. We normally were using salt only for the fish, and for everything else we were using smoke. That's why smokiness is very important in our culture.
Borscht comes in all forms with all kinds of ingredients. There is not a single borscht recipe, nor one way of cooking it.
Найспільніше, що є у борщах українських, це те, що борщ переважно варять. Тобто технологія приготування – варять.
Borscht is prepared and eaten all over Ukraine, from the countryside to the cities, despite international cuisine gaining in popularity. For many here, borscht is more than just a simple dish.
Означає нашу культуру, наші кулінарні здібності наших українських жінок.
Завжди на обід має бути перша страва, це є борщ. Що там сніданок, чай, кава, що там які бутерброди, а на обід суп, борщ має бути, я вважаю, завжди має бути перше блюдо.
What does borscht mean for Ukrainians? This place is home to borscht as well as many other Ukrainian specialties. The Kyiv restaurant, 100 rokів тому вперед, which translates into 100 years ago. Chef Klopotenko's goal is to revive Ukrainian cuisine and reinterpret old recipes, solely with Ukrainian ingredients.
I think food may be music. It's the most easiest way to tell about your country, to tell about your tradition. People eating burgers every day, and you start to be a bit of American. And if you're watching the American films, movies, you start to be more a bit American.
Just as pizza represents Italy, for Klopotenko, borscht represents Ukraine. But also sirniki, or pancakes made with cottage cheese, are among the typical Ukrainian dishes that are popular throughout Eastern Europe.
People all around Ukraine start to look and to find, to discover the real Ukrainian dishes, the real Ukrainian food. And now it's huge changes.
A special form of borscht is prepared in this industrial area of Kyiv. The organization Borscht for the Military has a very pragmatic goal: to support soldiers on the front lines with a type of instant soup.
Заливається такий пакет на 2 літрами окропу і стоїть 15 хвилин. І він готовий. Він дуже насиченого кольору, насиченого смаку.
One package contains 2 servings. Volunteers help pack the dried meats, vegetables, and spices. Fresh ingredients are dried on site. This is about more than creating a simple and healthy meal.
Борщ – це символ домашньої їжі. Це як вдома. Нам так військові кажуть, коли вони запарюють наш борщ, вони думками переносяться додому.
Volunteers prepare an average of 2,000 packages daily. Aid that appears to be making a difference.
Це картинка, скріншот з відео. Це мені прислав снайпер. Він готував наш борщ. Ми робимо те, що ми можемо. Ми робимо, підтримуємо нашу армію. У нас така мотивація.
Many Ukrainian cultural assets were destroyed following Russia's attack on Ukraine, with churches and theaters bombed and museums looted. Under Russian occupation, intangible cultural assets are under threat, including the Ukrainian language, literature, and music. Russia is accused of appropriating the heritage of former Soviet republics. It's still not clear who made the first ever borscht, but its prevalence throughout Ukrainian society is well documented.
В такому вигляді архіви. Ті, що робочі, як то кажуть. Це ж робочі. Це ж мої робочі процеси. Їх багато. Мої там фестивалі. Я роблю програму фестивалів, і в ній я пишу теж оці всі. Розумієте, рецепти, вони всі передаються з вуст в уста.
Before the war, the annual Borscht Festival took place on Olena Sherban's property. People from all over Ukraine would gather and exchange ideas. For her, the matter is clear.
Росіяни украли борщ, так як усе украли. Будь-що.
UNESCO was unable to fully resolve the dispute a few months after the outbreak of war, but it did grant Ukraine a small victory. At the request of co-initiator Yevhen Klopotenko, UNESCO has added the practice of Ukrainian borscht preparation to the list of endangered, intangible cultural heritages in need of preservation. UNESCO stated that countless recipes passed down from generation to generation reflect regional peculiarities and local traditions. Due to Russian aggression in the country, the preservation of such culture is under threat.
Now world start to hear that borscht is ours. It means that we exist. It means that our nation exists. It means that our countries exist. Because Russia all the time wants to take everything from us, and we are trying and we are fighting. And this is small victory of our identity and cultural war.
UNESCO, however, did not exclusively declare borscht as a cultural heritage belonging only to Ukraine. It is also integral to the cuisine of Russia, Belarus, the Baltics, and Poland. Here in Ukraine, though, borscht is part of a culinary and cultural identity that people are ready to defend and prevent from being appropriated by Russia.